Winter on the French Riviera. You think it'd be a quiet time, right? Temperatures aren't sizzling, there's no beautiful women sunning themselves topless on the beach. But that doesn't mean things don't heat up.
It's February, and that means Carnival. And in the south of France, the biggest party to mark the 2 weeks leading up to Lent is held each year in Nice.
Carnival isn't for another few days yet, so we've got some time to kill while in the south of France. Whatever will we do? I thought we would visit two of this country's most infamous destinations, Cannes and Nice. And I really wanted to take a walk along the beach, which here in Nice is a pile of rocks. Not quite the sensuous toes in the sand experience I was really hoping for, but I've heard Cannes has sandy beaches, so we'll start there. My goodness. Now, I know you're thinking, but the French Riviera is a summering place. Well, actually, it got its start as a winter resort destination when wealthy Europeans and the British especially, needed to escape their dull and numbingly cold January and February months. Look at it. I mean, the sky is a bright blue, kids are playing in the sand, people are taking walks feeling the Mediterranean sun on their faces. Now, it's not 80 degrees, but it sure ain't 20.
Cannes and Nice are located on the same strip of the Mediterranean in the south of France. It's also called the Côte d'Azur, or the French Riviera.
If there is one street that embodies the essence of Cannes, it is this one, La Croisette. It's a petite boulevard lined with palm trees and flower beds. Flowers in February. It's so beautiful. On one side is the Mediterranean Sea, and on the other, lifestyles of the rich and famous. Here you walk past the grand hotels, terraced apartments, designer shops, and stylish restaurants of the privileged class. In the winter, it just seems a little more laid back. I don't know. Maybe the winter jackets are hiding all the jewels. You're probably wondering, Cannes. Now, where have I heard that name before? Celebrities! This is the home of the International Film Festival held here every year for 2 weeks in May. It is a world event that receives an onslaught of media coverage second only to the Olympics. This is where the film festival is held, the Palais des Festivals. The locals affectionately refer to it as the bunker. I don't know, it's a pretty color cement. But this is where the actors, actresses, and directors ascend the red carpeted stairs, and it's also where that mosh pit of fans and photographers are as well.
A fixture of the annual festival is the Carlton Hotel, and during those 2 weeks you can barely get a view of its terrace cafe. But today I'm able to have a drink here with Gilles Traverso, and he is always in the thick of that mob of photographers you see every year. It's in his blood.
So between you, your father, and your great-grandfather, the Traverso family has not missed one Cannes Film Festival.
Every year we were here. From the beginning till last year, we were present every year.
It is an absolutely crazy time here.
Yes.
A mass of people, photographers, media. Like, I love the picture I believe your father took of Bardot.
Yeah.
And she's just there in the corner, her little poof of a blonde head, but the entire picture is of all the photographers trying to get her picture.
Yeah, Brigitte Bardot was a phenomenon, I think.
Phenomenon, absolutely.
Because all the photographers want to have a picture of Brigitte Bardot. When you see the picture, you understand why.
But what about yours? You have beautiful photography too.
Maybe one of the first one I've made, because the first time I arrived, I made some shot of Robert De Niro, you see.
Oh.
He was young, but I was younger than him. For me, it's something I remember.
Right.
I remember.
I think it's interesting that even though the film festival is only 2 weeks in May, the spirit is still here.
All the year, yeah, sure.
You really feel like at any moment you can see Sophie Loren walk down the street.
Sure. We are a village, but it's an international village. So that's a village where all the world come. So that's why it's interesting even to live here. It's quite right.
May I ask you a favor?
If I may.
I would love for a famous photographer like yourself to take a picture of me.
Yeah. Oh, that's a digital one?
Sorry,
what a pity.
In my big She May Be a Star sunglasses with my champagne here at the Hotel Carlton.
Yeah. Put it, that would be right. Okay.
Excellent.
Right.
I'm ready to sign the movie deals now.
You'll be in this next movie.
Coming up, we'll visit a museum dedicated to a world-class artist who liked to say that he drew with scissors. There's more from the French Riviera when Passport to Europe returns. I'm in the south of France, in Cannes, on the famous French Riviera, and I'm taking an evening stroll through the city's old town on my way to a charming restaurant that I'd heard about.
Cannes was here long before wealthy Europeans in the film industry put it on the map. And to experience this medieval side of the city, you want to head up to the steep slopes of La Souquet, which means the head, and that's appropriate since it sticks up above and watches over the rest of the city.
The winding, tapered cobblestone streets and antique homes of La Souquet are a nice contrast from the big-money cosmopolitan architecture you find around La Croisette. The area is also a great place to experience authentic Provençal cuisine. I was told of a restaurant no bigger than a nook called Mi Figue, Mi Raison. The name of the restaurant is actually an expression the French use concerning the weather, saying it's so-so. The restaurant is much better than that.
So here's a traveler tip. If you want to get to know people in another country, buy a bottle of wine and start pouring. These are my new friends, Mariella and Julienne, and they advised me that I should buy a bottle of rosé because we are in Provence.
Yeah, you have to drink this rosé for example, in the summer when it's hot. It's really refreshing.
Very refreshing. And they also helped me on what to order here at this wonderful restaurant, and I started with the house specialty.
But there's some specialties I think you know better than me.
Do you know what's in the pot here?
I know totally.
I believe it's sardines with goat cheese and olive oil. Would you like some?
Yeah.
Would you like to try it? Okay. What I find interesting is that unlike most of the French cuisine that we know, the heavy sauces, the use of butter, now we're in the south of France, so it's olive oil and garlic and fresh fish and fresh vegetables, and that's really the key. So for my entree, I ordered the cocotte, which is a stew of, look at this, big chunks of veal and beautiful vegetables. And look what we have right here, a big, juicy pear. And this is what makes this dish distinctly Provence, that they combine both vegetables and fruits together in a light gravy. And now it is on my plate. Now, for my time here in Cannes, I'm staying at the Hotel Martinez. This was built back in 1927 as a luxury seaside resort, and it has a wonderful Art Deco motif. Just look at this staircase. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. Now, this hotel just went through a major renovation where they modernized everything, yet kept this building's 1920s soul. Oh, great. Housekeeping came. I'm actually checking out right now. We are on our way to Nice. But this was my room. It's called a Prestige Sea View room. In the off-season, which is right now, it was 380 euros a night. In the high season, it goes up to 850 euros a night. Now, both prices, of course, are very expensive, but there are two reasons that make it so. One, the address. The Martinez is right on the famous boulevard La Croisette. And two, the rooms themselves. The attention to detail here is exceptional. And I've stayed in a lot of luxury hotels where they cut corners when they think no one's looking, but here, no detail is overlooked.
Now, if 850 euros sounds like chump change to you, then I'm sure you'll be interested in one of the many suites here that have wrap-around terraces. I would imagine that during the film festival, more than a few major stars have gazed at the moonlight from up here.
But even the smallest of balconies will make you feel like a big star.
When we come back, we'll be in the city of Nice. Passeportier returns to the French Riviera after this.
You and I are spending today in the south of France, the Côte d'Azur. We just came from Cannes. Now I thought we'd get to know Nice, and for that I thought we'd venture up to the hill of the castle. Used to be a castle here, it's long gone, name stuck. From here you get a great vantage point of the city of Nice.
Nice is the 5th largest city in France and has two distinct areas, Old Town and New Town. The Old Town, or Vieille Ville, is a jumble of a neighborhood that sits at the base of this hill. So let's go down for a closer look.
Old Town is the most charming part of Nice. It's just this dense warren of narrow streets. And look at these buildings. I love the bright turquoise shutters, wide open. It's really a lovely place to be. Now, you could have a map, but this is my technique. I don't have a map, I just look at the streets. Should I go down that one? I don't know. It's not really speaking to me. Or should I go down this one? Now that's cute. Now, because we're in the Mediterranean, Nice's Old Town has a very exotic feel to it. It's almost like we're in an Arabic bazaar. See all these shops with their wares out front, carts of tomatoes, oranges, purses hanging. Just on the street alone, you can get dried fish and flip-flops.
Quand un jour on venait lui proposer un univers plein de beaux projets, croyant tous les mots qu'elle entendait, elle redonnait.
One thing that I love about the people of Nice is that they are snackers. I am too. There's great street food here, and the Old Town is where you'll find a lot of it. Now, the street food to have is soca.
It's a très bon sandwich. It's very good sandwich, huh?
Chez Teresa is practically a soca institution here in Nice and a perfect place to try the snack.
Bonjour, madame.
Okay.
I will take one soca, s'il vous plaît.
One soca, no problem.
And what's in it? It's chickpeas?
It's a chickpeas flour, it's little olive oil.
Just very simple.
It's little water.
Excellent.
It's little pepper.
A lot of pepper.
Oh, okay.
I love pepper. And soca is to Nice what the croissant is
it's
to
very,
Paris.
very hot. Eh?
Oh, no.
Thank you.
There you go.
Drinking.
Excellent. The people of Nice eat it all day at breakfast, as a sandwich and lunch. And let me taste it here. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's wonderful. You really taste the chickpeas, and then there's a smokiness from the fire. That's just a rustic meal. Love it. Ah, merci, madame. Au revoir.
Thank you very much. Voilà.
The heart of Nice is a Cour Salée. It's lined with beautiful restaurants and brasseries. Now, it's a gorgeous Mediterranean day, so people are out enjoying a glass of rosé or un café. Also here is the market. Lovely fruits and vegetables to look at and buy. At the end is a flower stand.
Merci.
Nice became a beach resort back in the early 19th century. 200 years later, it's still going strong. Right now I'm walking down its hallmark boulevard. The Promenade des Anglais stretches for 5 kilometers along this beautiful coastline. This is where the beachcombers, strollers, rollerbladers, and wine sippers of the world all come to enjoy one gorgeous slice of paradise.
The promenade is where my hotel is located, the Palais de la Méditerranée. It was built in 1929 as a casino, and its original Art Deco facade is classified as an historic monument. The building was almost demolished, but saved and transformed into its new life as a stylish hotel.
I have an executive sea view room, which is just gorgeous. And all of the 188 rooms here at this hotel are done in these vibrant, fun-in-the-sun colors. In my room, I have tangerine-colored chairs, red striped curtains, and festive pillows. And this hotel really hooks you up. They give you all those appliances that you buy to make your neighbors jealous, like this flat-screen TV that, swivels. And I've got a very stylishly hip CD player and an espresso machine. Now, of course, because I'm on the promenade, you know what I have a view of. The Mediterranean Sea, as seen through the preserved Art Deco facade of the Palais de la Méditerranée. And I feel like I have 5 separate movie screens in which to watch the drama of the boardwalk unfold. It's a very unique and fascinating perspective. Down below, we have the very sexy pool terrace with an indoor-outdoor heated pool. And yes, no one's really using it right now. It's a little chilly because it's winter, but I've got low-season hotel rates to keep me warm. Now, this is a very expensive hotel for very good reason. My room starts at 550 euros a night. That's the low-season rate. High-season rate, it's 800 euros. There are moderately priced hotels here in Nice. I'm just going to go out on a limb here that they don't have this view.
Stay with us, because we've got a front row seat at the biggest party of the year, when Passport to Europe returns to Nice.
I'm in Nice, France, a destination people have flocked to because, quite simply, here, life is good. Now, the Romans certainly thought so. They set up shop here in the 1st century AD, and remnants of that time still exist. Very impressive setup here.
Right now, I'm standing in what used to be the Roman baths. Amazing, you know? These Roman ruins can be seen in the Nice neighborhood known as Cimiez. Now, also in Cimiez is a museum dedicated to one man who lived in Nice. And while he wasn't here as long as the Romans were, he certainly left his mark on the world. The artist is Henri Matisse, and the museum that bears his name is situated next to a busy park here in Cimiez, which seems appropriate for all the joy in life that fills his works. Annick Doziaz showed me around the museum. So I read that Matisse almost left Nice because the weather was so bad.
Yes, you're right. Look, here you have one of the paintings representing the coastal street of Nice, and where you see that really it's not really sunny like we have normally the weather in Nice.
This is the Promenade des Anglais, right?
This is the Promenade des Anglais. And when it rains, really, it's very, very grey, but at the same time, look at the colors of that grey, and then from then on, he's going to travel all over the world, always looking for light, because he said that every country has a special light.
And this is a very, very
and then
famous...
we come, of course, to the last one of the last periods, which is the blue one. He's done the very famous nudes, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is luckily enough for us, number 4.
What I didn't know was that these were cutouts, because I had the poster, but you can't tell on a poster that the 3D elements.
They call it gouache découpée. It's water painting on paper, and then he pinned all these different pieces of paper on the canvas, and when he was okay with all the positions of the different little papers, then they could stick it. So he said it's not simple to be simple, but it's a result of a life work. And I would like people to understand that.
It's not some kid with some scissors and some construction paper. Yes, that's right. It's not simple to be simple. Matisse kept working until his death at age 85, and when he became too frail to paint and sculpt, he turned to drawing with scissors. This is a wonderful museum, but I do have to get back because the streets of Nice are about to get very busy.
Okay, everybody, it's time for Carnival!
In the 3 weekends before Lent, the Promenade des Anglais is overrun with dancers, musicians, balloons, and carnival floats from all over the world. This kind of celebration has been going on here in Nice for over 120 years, and its roots go back several centuries further.
It seems to me that this is a very respectful carnival. Have you ever been to Mardi Gras in New Orleans?
Yes,
I wouldn't bring my kids there. But this is a big family event.
Yeah, well, over 1 million people coming here during those 3 weeks to watch Carnival. Most of them are coming with their kids, or we have also grandparents coming with their grandsons and granddaughters. It's real fun.
And you have a king for every carnival.
Well, a king for every carnival. In fact, each year we have to find a theme for carnival. So this year we choose the climate, you know. The notion of the climate being deranged. As you can see, we have now the fish and the lobsters going out of the water, and it's so hot or so cold, nobody knows, but it's crazy.
And so many of the floats this year call everyone's attention to the consequences of environmental disorder. Next year, there will be all new floats for a completely different theme. But the message is just a small part of the carnival.
So we experienced 2 very different destinations along the Côte d'Azur, Cannes and Nice. Cannes, I felt, was a fantasy place with a glamorous and international lifestyle, while Nice was a more grounded city with a rich and authentic character. Both experiences are valuable to a traveler visiting an area immensely diversified, where art, history, food, and wine all mix together in the luxurious climate of the south of France. If you want to learn more about what I did in Europe, talk about the show, or check out my photos and journal, log on to Travel Channel, discovery.com. See you there.